Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is 1st of December 2019, 4:18 p.m. This is the first week of December. So we have trade for 11 months in 2019 and we are starting the last month of the year. It's also a holiday season for everyone. So I'm sure the market will have some impact during the holiday season. Usually it's much slower than usual. Okay, without further ado, let's get started with our weekly BBMA analysis. As usual, we will start with our BBMA SOP setup review. We trade using weekly BBMA re-entry sell. We look for MHV in daily. We look for MHV or momentum in H4. And we only look at H1 for early confirmation. Usually we look at momentum and also extreme. We also use divergent on oscillator such as awesome oscillator, or you can use MACD oscillator. They all will be able to help you to look at divergent. Okay, so our entry and exit is using H4 time frame. We use H4 for entry and we will use H4 to cut loss. Okay, so trade management and money management, we trade one pair in one account. We allowed 5 pair or 5 trade running at the same time. We maintain only the capital in our working account. We withdraw all our profit by the weekends and we always cut loss before MC. We trade all pairs, however we focus on the less volatile pair to trade. We use automation. We create our alert on TradingView for the setup. We use the custom script to detect extreme momentum and re-entry in TradingView. Okay, so as usual, let's review our last week trade for the week of 25th November. So last week we have 5 trade review and we took additional 4 extra trade from the support group. So the first trade we have was AUD USD. I was having a bad trade for this one because I entered before there wasn't any momentum sell. So momentum buy. This is supposed to be a buy trade, but there was not a momentum buy. So I enter on the MHV. But there is no confirmation yet, so I have to cut loss on the first trade. Okay, so the first trade was cut loss. The next trade we took was AJ. We have alert trigger on this one, but this trade also is still running. We have not closed it, so we have not met our cut loss condition and it is not running in profit as well. So we still hold this trade for the weekend. So this is a hold. Okay, next trade we have was CAT JPY. This is the re-entry sell setup. However, we enter using instant and relayer. We have this trade running and we have to cut loss because momentum buy appear H4. So this is the second losing trade for this week, last week, sorry. The third setup that we saw last week was Euro CHF. We see weekly re-entry sell and D1 CSAK buy, and then H4 momentum buy. So we were waiting for momentum sell. So this there wasn't any momentum sell for the whole week, no alert triggered. So for this one there was no trade. Okay. And then the last pair that we look at was Euro JPY. So on Euro JPY, it was a re-entry sell on monthly setup. We see MHV sell on weekly, and we have momentum sell on D1. So we already entered this trade and it's still running. And currently it's floating negative. Okay, so we will hold this trade until we see momentum buy at D1 to cut loss or otherwise. Okay, so this one is also hold. Okay, the fourth signal that we have from the group was GBP JPY. This one was momentum sell. However, we see the momentum buy H4, so we cut loss this one. Another signal was NU was an re-entry sell. We have managed to take some profit from this trade. EU is re-entry buy on weekly. We also see we have closed this trade, okay. And then the next one was an NZD CAD. NZD CAD is currently still running. This trade is still running. So overall, last week we seen a lot of fake signal, and we have to cut loss most of the trade based on our own analysis. Okay, so moving on, it's okay. Loss is always be there in any trade, but most important is we need to know what is our risk, and we need to know when we need to exit from the trade, be it with profit or be it with loss. Okay, so let's move on to next week, this week analysis. As usual, we use TradingView. This week we want to look at AUD CAD. I will not go through each pair because I have done this offline, and I would like to save the length of the video. So we just look at the pair that we already filtered. So AUD CAD, as you can see here, it's a re-entry buy on weekly time frame. And if we look at daily, we see this is a CSAK sell. Okay, we have not seen a momentum sell, so there was still possibility to reverse, but we need to we need to check lower time frame to make sure we have a momentum for the buy. So we look at H4. H4 is still momentum sell. So for AUD CAD, we still need to wait to see momentum buy only we enter this trade. So do not enter this yet. So we need to wait to see momentum buy at H4. If we look at H1, there is no sign of buy yet as well. So just for this one, we're just gonna set the alert and wait for it. So okay, that's our first pair. The next pair is AUD CHF. Okay, AUD CHF, we start from weekly. AUD CHF also is a re-entry buy. Okay, so you can see price making a CSAK retest MA5 and MA10 low, and then make a move up. So this is a re-entry buy setup, and we look at D1. D1 we see a re-entry momentum sell, then but there is no CSAK yet, right? So for this one we also need to wait because in this situation we could actually have a re-entry sell instead. So we have to wait. If you want to buy, we have to wait for momentum buy, and we need to check on H4. H4, as you can see here, there is no momentum buy all the way, and this is not a momentum buy as well. So in this kind of situation, if you look properly, the BB is flatting, and then the MA is inside the BB in the middle. So in both of these AUD CAD and AUD CHF, we really need to see at least a momentum buy on H4 to continue our buy. If not, we might cut loss, and this trade maybe will turn into a sell trade. Okay, so that's pair number 2, AUD CHF. So this one, our action is we have to wait and see the trigger. The third pair we want to see is AUD JPY. This one we check with Cikgu Hatslan, right? So for this pair we need to look at higher time frame, and if we look at higher time frame, we can see that it's a re-entry sell on monthly, and then on weekly is a MHV sell. Okay, MHV sell, and then on D1 there's already a momentum sell, and now is doing a re-entry sell over here. Okay, so if you do a re-entry sell and we look at H4, on H4 now it's sorry, let me make it a little bit bigger so we can see. Okay, H4 is making a CSAK sell. However, price retrace a little bit, but that is the thing, right? If we want to enter sell, we need to wait for the price to retest the MA5 and then MA5 high and also MA10 high, which is maybe around this area next week. Okay, if you instant entry, you will need to take care of the risk, which is about 20 pips. Actually, this is okay. If you want to instant entry, you need to know the risk, calculate your lot size properly, and then prepare to cut loss if you see a momentum buy happen. Okay, so for this one, actually you can instant entry. This is possible to instant entry on this one. Risk is 20 pips. Okay, so that's the pair number 3. The next pair that we want to look at this week will be CHF JPY. Okay, CHF JPY. CHF JPY, we look at weekly time frame first. Okay, on weekly, currently price is at the buy zone, but the BB is also quite flat, so we want to look at the higher time frame. On higher time frame, you can see, that's why if sometimes you look at the BB and it's flat, we need to immediately check the higher time frame. If we look at higher time frame, it's quite clear to us that price just reject the MA5 and MA10 high, which actually is a re-entry sell, right? This is a re-entry sell on monthly. Okay, so when we look back at weekly, we can, if this is a monthly re-entry sell, that means this zone is actually the MHV area for weekly. Okay, so MHV area for weekly for sell, and then in daily we can see that we already have a momentum sell, and price is somewhere around the, let me just delete this to make it clear, sorry. So price is also at re-entry area. So for this one, if we want to instant entry, our risk will be around 65 to 70 pips. So what you can do is you can layer your entry, maybe 5 layer here, and make sure you know how much you're gonna lose if you need to cut loss, about 70 pips on this one. Okay, so CHF JPY is a sell trade. We can also instant entry on this one. Okay, then that's the 1 2 3 4, that's the 4th pair that we'll look at for this week. And next pair that we want to look at will be EuroCAD. Okay, EuroCAD. Okay, this EuroCAD, we see that EMA 50 is going out from the BB. That means something happened at the higher time frame. Usually when this happen, mean the price is trying to complete the re-entry sell setup at higher time frame, which is the monthly. So let's look at monthly. Yep, as you can see in monthly, it's confirmed that this is a re-entry sell, right? So we see that the price is rejecting MA5 high there. This is a re-entry sell on monthly. Then price is actually making a MHV here. So this is a MHV sell. Okay, so EuroCAD is a monthly re-entry buy, re-entry sell, sorry. Then weekly is MHV sell. Okay, so to confirm that this sell is valid or not, we have to drop one time frame lower. It's like 1 2 like that, right? And we need to see if there was any momentum sell on how to say, daily time frame. So here we see that there's no momentum sell yet, because here there is a momentum buy, so there is no momentum sell to counter this momentum buy. So we need to wait for a momentum buy to happen on daily time frame to sell. And if we drop to H4, we can see that's already a momentum sell. That's a good sign. Mean we probably need to wait for another, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 days. Probably around Wednesday we can get momentum sell on D1, and we can proceed with sell for EuroCAD. So for this one, you can set the trading view alert entry, so we can notify it when the momentum sell is happen. Okay, so that is the 5 pair that we're gonna trade this week, because we have two currently running trade from last week, which is the Euro JPY and also Euro JPY and also NZD CAD. Yeah. Okay. So let's recap. For this week, what we're gonna have is first is AUD CAD. So weekly one re-entry buy. D1 is MHV buy. H4 is momentum sell. So action is wait for momentum buy. Okay. Second pair is AUD CHF. Okay. Weekly is sorry, not AUD CHF, AUD JPY. Yeah. AUD JPY weekly is re-entry sell. We did for AUD JPY we use monthly, and one is re-entry sell. Week one is MHV sell. D1 is entry sell. Okay. H4 is CSAK sell. So this one we can instant or re-entry enter at H4 entry sell. Okay. Usually in this case I will just enter with smaller lot. Okay. Then next one is CHF JPY. FJ. Okay. FJ week one is re-entry sell. D1 is D1. Wait, let me double check again. CHF JPY. Weekly is monthly. This is a monthly setup as well. So MN1 re-entry sell. Weekly is MHV sell, sorry. D1 will be, D1 is re-entry sell. Okay. So for CHF JPY, we can instant and enter again, or you enter at H4 entry sell. Okay. Next pair is EuroCAD. EuroCAD. For EuroCAD, this is using monthly as well. So monthly re-entry sell. Weekly is a MHV sell. Then D1 EuroCAD just now was EuroCAD. D1 is a re-entry sell. So we need to wait for momentum sell on D1. Wait for momentum sell at D1. Or if you enter, it'll be you need to know where your stop loss is. Okay, so running from last week. Last week is Euro JPY, right? This is a monthly setup, and one resell, cut loss at D1, momentum buy. Okay, then the next pair is NZD CAD, NZD CAD, and CAD. And CAD, this one, sorry, let me just copy this, easier. Okay, so this is our, sorry, let me change this, it will be 2nd of December. So this will be our trade plan for next week. We have 4 new pair to look at. We can instant CHF JPY and also AUD JPY. Okay, and then we need to wait for EuroCAD and AUD CAD. So next week there will be a CAD news, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check the Forex Factory calendar. Forex Factory, yeah. So there's a CAD news. Yeah, there's a CAD news on Wednesday next week. So there might be a significant movement before that. I mean after this announcement. So we have to be careful when we trade CAD pair next week. So okay guys, this is all the pair that we're gonna look at, and as you can see, when we do our trade, this doesn't mean that our analysis will be 100% accurate, but most importantly, when we make a mistake, we need to know why we make a mistake, and then we need to be aware where to cut loss and know how much we're gonna lose if that loss occur. So I wish you all the best for your next week trading, and till we meet again next week, thank you and good evening. Bye.